So some of my takeaways from the Rockwell Automation Fair around where the industry is today, really 3 points that I would highlight. The first is in terms of where the manufacturing industry is today. We're seeing a lot more movement. It was great to see at the event so many people interested in the topic of sustainability. I think we're starting to see action, moving from talk to action, but there's still a long way to go in terms of seeing results. So at the moment, energy consumption, we see a growth in renewables that's very strong, but it's not actually denting our consumption of fossil fuels. When we're looking at targets being set, a lot of companies are setting targets. There's a bit of a misnomer there, because really when we're talking about carbon, we shouldn't be talking about a carbon deadline, we should be talking about a carbon debt. So the more we're putting in now, the more we're going to be paying back later. The second element is around decarbonizing of our energy. So there's a lot of discussion about how do we use renewable energy, what is the role of that in manufacturing, and again, renewable usage is really growing quickly. But again, it's not taking away from our consumption of fossil fuels. So a real focus has to be around our stewardship of energy. So how do we minimize our usage of energy? And that's around implementing ideas and philosophies around energy management. And the third point I'd highlight is really around this has to be data driven. So how do we use this data to improve our operations? So there's a lot of tools that were shown at Automation Fair, leveraging data, leveraging analytics to really improve energy consumption. So everything from basic monitoring of a motor for understanding where it's being used, when it's being used, and adjusting its energy profile. But then also around the process itself, how do we use closed loop processes around manufacturing, for example, advanced process control, to optimize and adjust parameters of manufacturing process based on externalities. And the final bit around that and around data is companies are having to report. We're seeing CSRD in Europe, there's the climate disclosure rules here in the US. Companies are going to have to start very shortly reporting their emissions, their energy consumption, water and waste, but also start showing how they're progressing towards these targets. So any sustainability transformation is going to have to be data driven.